So God has been stolen from mankind for whatever reason that these Pharisees and these people, magicians, necromancers, wizards, are ones who know of magic and ones who know of the true word of God, the one that was here in a wave frequency vibration light form through the many spectrums, the many houses that consolidated themselves and collapsed into one reality to create this solidity of these spheres that collapse and rule over each other so we can create a form within this reality as humans. But the true word of God was stolen from us, from the people, from mankind, from humankind, and things like that. And this was done with a very malevolent, very nefarious intent. At the beginning, it was actually they kind of probably thought they was saving the world. They probably thought like, we're traveling the seas, yeah, we're saving the people. We're spreading the word of God, and things like that. But I can't say what it looks like from their perspective exactly. But I do defend them when it comes to this point, is that it's basically like this. Basically, if they didn't do what they do, then this world will kind of keep on sinking because there's no order. There's just chaos everywhere you go. So someone has to kind of take that initial step and kind of start to set a system in place that can give an example to other people who will set their system in place that will be in collaboration with those other systems that will create a series of networks, like your brain, your body is a series of networks that work together coherently to create a functional usage for this human body, this vessel that we are in. But unfortunately, that's not what has taken place here. What has taken place here is the basically coercion, basically the taking away of knowledge, the real knowledge, the real ledges, the real 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, esoterically speaking, because we're talking about numerology, we're talking about stages of alchemy, we're talking about taking a thought, an idea, and you bringing that down into density, all the way until 9 chi and things like that. So now they have literally taken God's properties, God's glory, God's lights, glory, God's step-by-step process to create a universe, and they have essentially prostituted it into a language, into a numerical system, into a linguistical system of words that has these very same influences hidden behind them. So when you look at the English language, A and B, 1 and 2, Alpha, Omega, head to neck, you're looking at a binary system. And what they're not telling you about these languages that you'll be using is that a lot of these spectrums of energies, a lot of these codes, a lot of these lights, a lot of these things that we are trying to access to make ourselves whole again, they have hidden these things behind these deities, behind these shapes and forms, behind these left-brained out logic that is based on their subjectivity of the natures that take on characteristics and attributes and render themselves through, us humans, which is just a man, a colored man, a being of light that has a particular precept of light that is different than other people's precepts of light, that play themselves out through many different colored flesh suits that is also, on the how do you call it? This is basically on the polar shift of 1-2 as well. Black and white, 1-2. This is another polar shift. So it's not really about, so no matter how black you are, no matter how white you are, what you need to worry about is basically your relative position within space and time. Because that's a challenge that God is rendering to you based on whatever time you're on for you to get to whatever next phase that you need to get to for your particular evolution and things like that. But again, when you have people taking the stuff and hiding it, and they're not telling you what you're doing, bro, it's kind of fucked up to be honest. Because basically, instead of you understanding that, hey, look, what time it is, what time of the day is it right now? That wheel of the day. It's not, instead of you understanding what time is it of the month, instead of you understanding what time is it of the year, and actually receiving that influence and understanding that influence comes from nature, it doesn't come from no man stuff. They're basically taking out God's natures. Now you need God natures to survive. Because last time I checked about heart don't pump blood, I would drop dead. So we all need God's natures to survive. But what they did was they took out God's natures and replaced them with their symbolisms, replaced it with their meanings and reasonings and things like that, their linguistics, their grammars, and things like that. And they have essentially kind of confused us. So when I was younger, when I was in Islam, I was confused. I was fused with a con, meaning someone did a con job on me because they didn't want me to see the symbolisms. They didn't want me to read between the lines and things like that. They didn't want me to clearly perceive what's going on. And when you don't clearly perceive, when you don't have clarity of what's going on, then chances are you're probably going to be scared of your own shadow. Because now you have your subconscious mind, your shadow self, that you don't want to look at, you don't want to deal with, because that doesn't reel with what you've been taught when you misunderstood, or when I misunderstood personally what they meant with God is a being of light or whatever the fuck, because we think that God is supposed to be here in this conscious reality. So what if God is a being of light? We're just supposed to stay awake in this conscious reality and not go to sleep, because when you go to sleep, you see the devil, and the devil is a being of darkness, so that's bad and things like that. So there's all these dogmas that are set into place for us to literally not pursue the knowledge, not pursue the true understanding, because there's all these ignorant, carefully placed, multiplied programs and scenarios and just ways of thinking and feeling that will get you off track to really figuring out what is really actually going on. And that's just the old way they used to do it, bro. Now they got artificial intelligence technology to actually, run this game on a deeper level. I mean, it's just so crazy to me. Because literally, the influence itself of the sun, they've taken that and they told you, yeah, don't worry about that. Just learn the letter A and learn the letter 1 and learn the number 1. That's crazy, bro. Because that's a symbol, but the sigil itself is talking about a fucking vibration that existed before they even made a letter A or letter 1 or whatever the fuck. So they should probably be teaching you about where did they get this form from, and where did they create this form from, and where did this informing that came to them in a form, they tell you, oh, brother, praise Jesus, we met the Most High and he gave us this knowledge, this download of information. I think the whole village, the whole tribe should sit the fuck down and learn this discipline. And bro, this shit's crazy. Remember, they tell me Muhammad, supposedly an angel came down to him, and Gabriel, and he gave him this revelation. And the nigga supposedly couldn't read. He was illiterate. But you gotta understand that these things are not meant to be taken literally. These things not making these books. They're not necessarily history books. It's a book about a virtue and things like that. So even when you read an angel has descended down to a man, yeah, angels are descending down to man all day fucking long. So you got angels descending trying to talk to you, but they don't necessarily have wings either. They're not gonna flap their wings around and make you feel a cold breeze, and you're gonna suddenly you're gonna feel loved, valued, and respected. It's not really how it works. An angel is just basically assigned to separate from something, usually having to do with a masculine number, or usually just having the ability to equalize, again, the polar shift of 1 2 is basically something that I don't want to say necessarily stops the overflow, but is basically an angle. It's like a solution to a problem that we have. It's like, hey, look over there, you can do this. Hey, look at that over there. Hey, look at that. So depending on what you program your subconscious mind to follow, then your subconscious mind is going to decide to follow that. So you could have an angel on your shoulder telling you, giving you solutions. And in science, you can call this the reticular activating system. So however you program it, it's basically what it's going to filter out. In reality, it's going to filter it out. So if you only focus on problems in life, your reticular activating system is going to show you only problems in life. And you're going to be very emotional about those problems. And that's going to create you more problems. Because now you are creating the symbiotic relationship as you being the host with this feeling that's really a demon that's actually binding with you, and it's binding with multiple people at the same time. And since it doesn't have a body, you want to experience life through your body and through your mind and things like that. So literally nothing in the Bible, nothing in the Quran is pseudo. All these things is real, but you got to take the dogma out of them and actually understand the fucking, esoteric numerical systems, so you can actually start to go in deeper and break it down for yourself. And you need to understand some science. Really, the science is just kind of some esoteric shit too, because like once you really get down to it, the math and the spirituality, math and science, just both taken from spirituality. It's the same shit, same source, just different forms, right? Same source, just different forms. Humans, we all look different fucking forms, same source. Grapes, different forms, pretty sure they all got a similar source. All rivers in the world, different forms, different pH levels, and shit like that. But I'm pretty sure they all got a pretty fucking similar source. So what am I saying here today? I'm saying that there's a source that encompasses this reality and all realities that we can possibly think and feel about. And that is the overall expression. That is the parameter which I'm attempting to reach into or reach out to. Because obviously there's stages in the evolutionary game and things like that. So you gotta kind of wait your turn a little bit before you can pop out the egg, you know what I'm saying? So when you pop out your mama and shit like that. Because it's got to be a vehicle. It's got to be a vehicle ready to host you, things like that. But between that happening and between now, I'm gonna make sure to do my best to stay on the best shape possible. Because when you were swimming between your daddy's wee wee into your mama's vajayjay, and you was looking for a sanctuary, a place to call home, there was other people challenging you to call that place home too, So there was other spirits being aware of that space and what's going in that particular ejection of, cosmological goodness. There's other spirits aware of that space happening. So you want to train your spaceship, you want to beef up your spaceship down here on Earth, just like how, Goku, Vegeta are in their spaceship working out on things like that against gravity. You're here dealing with these spectrums, and that's the gravity you're dealing with. Meaning, hey, the sun goes in Aries, all of a sudden, life to you just goes shit. I mean, like, everything goes sideways. So you're learning how not to let things go sideways when the sun goes to Aries. For everybody's different, but everybody needs to learn about this, about their own point. Stop being so invested into dogma that's purposefully propagated to you by the shadow government to get you lost off your goals and off your really your godly duties, because they want to make you into a mason pretty much. They want to tell you, okay, go build the factory. Oh yeah, go build the fort. Oh yeah, come lay these bricks and come make us a castle. Come lay these bricks and make us a mosque. Oh, yeah, everybody's fucking masons. They just turning you guys into the objective version of what a mason is, of what a brick builder is. But you're supposed to understand the subjectivity of what a brick is. And then you can take that into your own life and start to do things with that, not just getting lost into other people's minds and realms of realities, not understanding what you're participating in, because you are participating in a live ritual. So real fucking shit.